Okay, so today we're doing something incredibly cool. We are taking the exact, literal, life or death frameworks used by elite FBI hostage negotiators, and we're going to apply them straight to our everyday lives. Think about it for a second. The exact same tactical negotiation strategies they use in like super high stakes crises, those are actually the key to unlocking way better outcomes for us, whether you're in a boardroom, sitting in a job interview, or just trying to close a freelance deal. Plus $10,000. I mean, for some of you, that could literally be the salary bump you missed out on last year. For others, maybe it's extra revenue left on the table during a big client pitch, or even just savings you completely missed out on when buying your last car. And the crazy thing is, most people are losing massive amounts of money and countless opportunities because of one really fundamental mistake. They treat negotiation like it's a battle. Right, so look at the amateur mindset. It's this deeply flawed idea that negotiation is just about arguing and trying to back the other person into a corner. It's aggressive. And honestly, it's highly ineffective. But the FBI mindset, that flips the script entirely. Elite negotiators don't argue. They gather information. To them, negotiation isn't a battle at all. It's an act of discovery. Because when you actually make the other person feel heard, you instantly diffuse all that tension and open the door to real collaboration. So to actually master this, we're going to follow a precise 4-step practitioner's playbook. We've got tactical silence and mirroring, calibrated questions, labeling hidden emotion, and finally, the Ackerman anchor. All right, let's dive right into step 1, tactical silence and mirroring. This is absolutely your first line of defense. And this step actually happens before you ever even state your price. So imagine you're a freelancer, right? You pitch a major project. You know your worth is much higher, but then the client drops a proposal that's just way below your expectations. They look at you and say, our budget is capped at $2,000 for this project. Now, the amateur instinct here is to react emotionally. You want to scoff, defend your rates, or immediately throw out a counteroffer. Do not do that. Instead, we are going to use mirroring. You just simply repeat the last 1 to 3 critical words of their statement, but you frame it as a really gentle question. Capped at $2,000? That is literally it. You are just reflecting their own words right back at them with a slight upward questioning inflection. And here is where the absolute magic happens. Right after you mirror, you have to execute tactical silence. Basically, you just shut up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know, it feels so awkward, right? But human psychology absolutely hates silence. So by mirroring and then just staying quiet, you practically force your counterpart to fill that conversational vacuum. They will naturally elaborate and reveal their true constraints, and you didn't even have to be pushy at all. Moving on to step 2, calibrated questions. This is all about gathering intelligence. So when we're gathering intel, we absolutely have to avoid certain psychological triggers. First rule, never ask questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no. And above all else, avoid the word why. If you ask, why is the salary so low? It sounds like an accusation, right? It instantly makes them defensive. Instead, try starting your questions with how or what. These words invite collaboration and get you those nice, detailed responses instead of just triggering a defensive reflex. Okay, so here are 2 of the absolute most powerful calibrated questions you can pull out. First up, how am I supposed to do that? You want to say this softly when someone gives you an unreasonable term or a super low offer. It is brilliant because it gently takes the burden of solving the problem and places it right back on them. Second question, what does it take to be successful here? Listen, if you are negotiating a salary, this one is a total game changer. It anchors the entire conversation around the actual value you create, rather than just treating you like a line item expense on a spreadsheet. All right, step 3, labeling the hidden emotion. We're naming the friction here. You see, pretty much every negotiation is driven by some sort of underlying emotional friction. It could be fear of losing money, maybe anxiety over making a bad hire, or just intense stress about strict budget limits. Labeling is the act of naming that elephant in the room out loud. When you sense hesitation from the other person, you actually have to name it, because people will immediately drop their guard the second they feel like they are truly understood. Now, the exact phrasing here is super critical. You definitely don't want to accuse them by saying you are hesitant. Instead, you just make a gentle observation. You say something like, it seems like you're hesitant about the timeline, or it feels like staying strictly within this quarter's budget is the primary concern. By using it seems like or it feels like, you are naturally inviting agreement, and the second they respond with exactly, Boom, the defensiveness is completely gone, you've built trust, and you've just opened the door to some really creative deal making. And that brings us to our final step. Step 4, the Ackerman Anchor technique. This is where we master the numbers. So when it's finally time to drop a counteroffer, never, ever use round numbers. Digits like $50 or $5,000, they just look completely arbitrary, and that implies they are highly flexible. But precise numbers, numbers like $82.50 or $4,850, those look incredibly calculated. They subtly communicate that you've done some serious math to arrive at this exact figure, making your offer appear way more firm and totally non-negotiable. To actually use this technique effectively, you have to follow a very specific mathematical crescendo. You do not just jump straight to your final number. No, your first offer starts at exactly 68% of your target goal. If they push back, your second counter moves up to 85%, and then your third goes to 95%. Do you notice those shrinking increments? That is by design. It signals to the other party that they are really squeezing you, which makes them feel like they are winning the negotiation. And then finally, you land exactly on 100% of your target. Now, when you do hit that 100% final offer, you use one of those precise kind of weird numbers we just talked about, but you also have to pair it with a non-monetary perk. Ask for something like flexible hours or maybe adjusting the delivery dates. Throwing in an odd, non-cash request right alongside a super precise number definitively signals to them that you are truly at your absolute limit. The well has completely run dry. So there you have it. The playbook is set. Step 1, mirror their last words and use tactical silence to gather intel. Step 2, ask those calibrated how or what questions. Step 3, label their underlying concerns out loud. And Step 4, anchor your final offer with precise math. Just remember, negotiation isn't a fight, it is a discovery. I really want to leave you all with a final provocative thought today. Think back. What is the absolute hardest thing you've ever had to negotiate? And how would these 4 steps change your approach if you had to do it all over again today? Take a quick moment to really think about that. If you found this explainer helpful, please hit that like button, definitely subscribe, and drop a comment below with your answer. I cannot wait to read them. I'll see you in the next explainer.